Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin the ceremony. Will you all please stand up and we'll have the music to begin with.
My darling, this I promise you. My love, I can feel your heartbeat as we dance now, closer than before. Don't let go, don't let go, 'cause I could almost cry now. We'll share forever. I make this vow to you. And when I look in your eyes, all of my life is before me. And I'm not running anymore, 'cause I already know I know. With every beat of my heart, I give you my love completely. My darling, this I promise you. My darling, this I promise you.
Thank you, Stacey. That was a wonderful opening song. What did you think? And these musicians here are all from AO, where they're used to good loud voices from cheering for your team. You're from Nice? Oh, really? Got it wrong, sorry. Anyway, it's not about the music today. It's about these two beautiful people in front of us, Roland and Joanne, coming together on their wedding day, making a big day for all of us, and certainly a big day for the two of you, where something very fundamental happens in your lives. It's like your relationship gets an upgrade, to use a modern phrase. You know, you're on, I don't know, operating system 7.13. You change your very identity here today, because you become a married couple, you become the wife, you become the husband, and everybody relates to you differently as soon as you're married. We sort of experience you differently in the world, and you will experience yourselves differently in the world, I would say. So we're here to witness this great moment of transformation in your life, and we're also here to bless it, and we're also here to say, or to declare, that we are your community who's going to support you in your marriage, because today you make very courageous commitments to one another, and you don't do it lightly. You've thought about it. It's a big moment, I suppose, when you decided to get engaged. So you've worked to this moment for quite a while, and the words that you say together, together today, you could think of them just as words, but they're profound, and they're a commitment to each other, and they're also a commitment to life, because you don't know what lies ahead. But you're saying today, whatever lies ahead, we're better together, and we can face it together, and we can support each other in everything that life throws at us. And we can also realize our dreams and our hopes far more if we're together. So that's what it's all about. It's a step into the fullness of life. That's what I call it here today. You're embracing life to the full, with all its risks, all its challenges, all its dangers, and you're saying, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to embrace it all, and I'm going to believe that it'll all work out exactly the way I want it to, or if not, better. So, my name is Dara Molloy. I'm here to perform the ceremony for the two of you today. You need to know it's not a religious ceremony as such. We're in a castle after all, we're not in a church. But neither is it just a humanist ceremony or a registry office ceremony where you just simply did the paperwork, or you have some, I suppose, words that don't have any spiritual meaning. Today there's spirituality in the ceremony, and it's a Celtic spiritual tradition that I draw from in the ceremony. So you'll see the tying of the knot, you'll see various blessings with oil and water, 4 elements, and so on. And you'll have some readings too which come out of that tradition as well. So I live on the Aran Islands, and my whole life has been dedicated to following the spiritual path and being nourished in that journey by our Celtic spiritual tradition. So that's what I hope to bring to you today. So before I say the opening prayer, will you light a candle to those you want to remember? And just invite everybody to think of the people that are near and dear to you but are not here today, living or dead. Just think of them all. Whether they're living or dead, they're present to you, and they will always be present to you. And that's what we're declaring here today, their presence. So we light the candle with that in mind, and we remember particularly your Nanny Tola. So come forward now and light that remembrance candle. Now I want to say an opening prayer, because what we have here is, I suppose, the main reception area of the castle, but today it's a very special place for us, and for all of us it'll be a special memory. And think of it as a sacred memory, because it's a sacred moment. And so I want you to create a space in your mind where all that's going to happen here in the next half an hour will fill that space with a beautiful memory for the two of you. And into that space draw in everything that you think is good and beautiful and wonderful about this life that you live and this planet that we live on. So call in the presence of God, and may that sense of the mystery and wonder of life always be with you, especially today, but throughout your life. May you never lose that sense that life is bigger and greater than you'll ever fully appreciate or understand, and that there's always more mystery and more wonder to be there, even in your own relationship. And may that sense of being surrounded and loved by a much greater force than yourselves be with you today especially, but never leave you throughout your life. So that's the prayer. If you'd like to join me in that prayer, would you please say amen? Amen. Thank you. I'd like you to be involved in the ceremony, but I won't ask you to jump up and down or anything like that. But there will be a few places in the ceremony where you can join in a little bit. I'm now going to start with some blessings to give you for your married life together. And these first 2 blessings are a blessing for you, Roland, the man, and a blessing for you, Joanne, the woman. So just think of your life ahead. You each have different roles to play. Today, your role, Roland, is to be the groom, and Joanne to be the bride. And you both look splendid in that role, but it only lasts a few hours, and then it's over. And
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I don't mean you won't look splendid.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's fine.
You just won't be the bride.
Oh, okay.
By tomorrow you'll be the wife, you see,
okay.
And you'll be the husband. And we want to bless you for that role, because I suppose in the past the role of a husband and a role of a wife was very defined. You had certain things you had to do as a wife, and you had certain things to do as a husband. That's no longer the case. Now everything is negotiated. But at the end of the day, you still are the husband and you still are the wife. So I want to bless you for those 2 roles in particular, because they are roles of responsibility. You will now have a commitment of responsibility to each other, and that requires an appropriate response from each of you in your role. So I want to bless you for that. Also, if further down the line you have children, you're going to have the role of the dad and you're going to have the role of the mum. That's another really important and responsible role, and I want to bless you for that too, that you'll adapt and adjust to that and grow into that role and be wonderful parents to any children you have. And then you have other roles. You're a son, you're a daughter. Are you an uncle? Are you an aunt? Do you know? These are other roles that people have. So I want to bless you for all of them. But each role that you have in your lives, bring something of you out into the world and help you to grow and develop and learn, and may it give you great enjoyment as well and fun, and may it give you a great sense of fulfillment and contentment and happiness in your lives. So the blessing for you as the man is the blessing with the small twig of an oak tree, and I'll explain that. The oak tree in the Celtic tradition was the tree under which people used to get married. because it was to do with masculinity, sort of the idea of the sacred masculine. So anything that's masculine, whether it's human or animal or plant, would come from this great sacred source. That's the way people thought of it. And that source was represented by the oak tree, which expressed masculinity through the shape of the acorn, through the mistletoe growing the oak tree, and so on. So the idea, you get blessed onto the oak tree, but also we bless you with the oak tree. And we take a branch from the top, which is where the lightning might strike if it was striking a tree. And so you think of this blessing coming down from on high for you. That's the image I want to use to bless you in all your roles as a man. So you ready? So I pull down a blessing for you today in all the roles you play as a man from here on in your life, Roland. The Queen does something similar, doesn't she, with the sword? Yeah, it's just different variation of the thing. The blessing of the bride then, as a woman, Joanne, is with water that comes from the ground, from a holy well. So in Ireland we have lots of holy wells, and these are sacred today as Christian wells. They're called after various saints, both male and female, so not particularly feminine. But if you trace back the roots of the holy well in Ireland, it goes back to the more ancient tradition of seeing the land as the sacred goddess. So Ireland was a sacred goddess, and her name was Eriu, and that's why we have the name Ireland. So when you walk the land, you're walking on her body. When you come to a well, that's the entrance into her womb. So that's where you honour her in her fertility and in the life that comes from the earth to nourish us all and support us all. So that's the origin of the holy well as sacred, and it's a feminine symbol in that sense. So I want to use it today to bless you, Joanne. So put your finger or fingers in the water and be connected to this great source of feminine sacred energy, and be blessed in all the roles you play as a woman from here on in. Now we're going to change the mood a little bit and have some readings. And the first reading will be read for us by Vicky, please. So come up here and take my place.
A piece of advice. Treat yourself and each other with respect, and remind yourselves often of what brought you together. Give the highest priority to the tenderness, gentleness and kindness that your connection deserves. When frustration, difficulties and fear assail your relationship, as they threaten all relationships at any one time or another, remember to focus on what is right between you, not only the part that seems wrong. In this way, you can ride out the storms when the clouds hide the face of the sun in your lives. Remembering that even if you lose sight of the path, if each of you takes responsibility for the quality of your life together, it will be marked by abundance and delight.
Thank you, Vicky. Give her a big clap.
When I am down and oh, my soul is so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, I am still and waiting in the silence until you come and stay a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Thank you. That was Tommy singing, and we also had Stacey singing earlier, and we've also had Kathleen. So would you give a big round of applause to all three of them? We now have the second reading, and I've been asked to read this. So you're going to hear a lot of me in the ceremony today. The second reading that I've chosen is by John O'Donoghue, and it's called the Anam Cara. John would be in the same type of role as myself before he died, sadly, and he wrote a lot on Celtic spirituality, and this is a beautiful piece which is very, very popular. So I'm reading it for you today. In the Celtic tradition, there's a beautiful understanding of love and friendship. One of the fascinating ideas here is the idea of soul love. The old Gaelic term for this is Anam Cara. With the Anam Cara, you could share your innermost self, your mind, and your heart. This friendship cut across all convention, morality, and category. You were joined in an ancient and eternal way with the friend of the soul. The Celtic understanding didn't set limitations of space or time on your soul. There's no cage for your soul. The soul is a divine light that flows into you and into your other. In everyone's life, there's a great need for an Anam Cara, a soul friend. In this love, you're understood as you are, without mask or pretension. Love allows understanding to dawn, and understanding is precious. Understanding nourishes belonging. The Anam Cara is God's gift. So that's a lovely thought from John O'Donoghue, who was more or less saying that your soul at this point in your life is totally connected to Roland. In fact, it sort of envelops you. And Roland, your soul is totally connected to Joanne, and sort of envelops her. And that's not just when you're side by side and you can see each other, it's also when you're miles apart. You'll still feel that connection. And I know probably many people here are married, you know what I'm talking about. I'm married myself, my wife is back in the Aran Islands. I still feel connected to her right now. And I'm sure that's the same for anybody who has a soul relationship with somebody in their lives. So may that always be the case with you, that you feel that deep soul connection with each other, even when you're not together. Now I want to give you 4 more blessings before you make your vows. So I have a symbol for each of them, and we take common symbols that are outside in nature: the earth, the air, the water, the sun. And we'll use those symbols to bless a part of your life that's reflected by that symbol. So the earth, piece of Irish turf, will be reflected in your life as your journey together. So in the ceremony today, we deliberately had you come in separately. You didn't see her at all until she appeared in front of you like a goddess down the aisle. But you'll walk out together at the end of the ceremony, and that's the beginning of a journey as a married couple. And that's what we want to bless. We want to bless your journey as a married couple, all the life that lies ahead of you as a married couple, all the things that are going to happen, all the journeys you'll take, all the years that will roll by. We want you to be blessed and happy in everything. May you have good health throughout it. May you have all the material things that you need to fulfill your dream of your life together. May you have a united vision for your life that allows you to pull together and work hard together. And may you never lose that energy and vitality and meaning and purpose to your marriage and to the life that you want to live. So bless your feet for this. How am I going to find your feet? They're under there somewhere. Good for you. Thank you. We take water next. Think of water as what surrounds Ireland, surrounds the UK as well, surrounds the little small island where I live on the Aran Islands. Anybody who lives on an island has a sense of belonging, of community, and of identity. And those 3 things I wish for you now, that you always have a sense of strong community. And I think you do, because you brought so many people here today from the Midlands of the UK, from Laois, from Mayo, and God knows where else people have come from here today. And that's your community. And it gives you a strong sense of belonging and identity. And may that always be the case, that this community that surrounds you supports you in your marriage and helps you to fulfill the vows that you make here today. So I want to ask your guests here today, will you be a good, strong, supportive community for Joanne and for Roland in the course of the marriage, as best you can? Yes. So I bless you for that role now. The third blessing is with air. So air is what you breathe from the day you're born to the day you die. and when you breathe out, you often use it to communicate. So this is a blessing for that invisible inner life that each of you has, and the communication of that in your marriage, which we talked about in that reading about the soul friendship. It's this inner person that you are. So marriage obviously clearly isn't just a physical relationship. It's not just two people sharing the one apartment or house. It's people sharing at a very deep, intimate level, their whole lives. So I want to bless that, all the intimate communication that's going to go on between you throughout your life. May you be good readers of each other. May you be good communicators with each other. May you be good listeners. May you grow in sensitivity, in compassion, in empathy, in generosity, in patience, in kindness, in romance, in forgiveness. All these things that you can practice in your marriage, may they each develop in you throughout your life so that you both, through your relationship, become better people. So I bless you for that now. Anybody else want a fan at their face? It's very warm here today. And the last blessing then is fire. The sun above our heads blesses us every day, and that's reflected in your lives as the fire of your love. So think of the day maybe when you first met, or the first spark happened between you, and you recognize that there's somebody special here that I want to get to know better and develop a relationship with. And that spark then becomes a flame. And today you put that flame front and center in your life. Your love will now be the heart or the hearth. Do you have that word, the hearth? You know, in a traditional Irish thatched cottage, there was a hearth, which was at the very center of the home, just one fireplace, and it heated the home, kept the house warm and dry, but it also cooked the meals, and it also gave you light at night time when the sun had gone down. So it had multiple functions, but it was the center of the home. If the fire ever went out in your home, there was nobody living in that house anymore. So this fire of your love is similar to that. It has to stay burning all the time, night and day. You have to look after it and mind it. And it'll do multiple functions. It'll nourish each of you in the course of your life. When you come home in the evening, you'll be refreshed by each other's company. When you go out the next day to work, you'll bring with you that strength that comes from having a partner in your life. You know the old saying, behind every great man is a great woman. Well, that's true. But equally, behind every great woman is a great man. You both will be supported by the fact that you have this other person in your life, and it'll help you to do great things in the world. And then, of course, the third function of your love will be to charm all the rest of us and to bless us, because when we see two people in love, like you are today, we're delighted. And may that always be the case. So I want to bless your love now, that it may always be like the sun, bright and warm, passionate, generous, and never burn out. Oh, that's it. I bless you with fire. Now it's time for you to make your vows. So will the two of you please stand up? Okay, so you're going to go first. We'll prompt you to say the words in little short phrases, okay? I, Roland, take you, Joanne.
I, Roland, take you, Joanne.
To be my wife.
To be my wife.
My constant friend.
My constant friend.
My faithful partner.
My faithful partner.
And my love.
And my love.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
In the presence of God.
In the presence of God.
Our family and friends.
And my family and friends.
I promise to love you unconditionally.
I promise to love you unconditionally.
To support you in your goals.
To support you in your goals.
To honour and respect you.
To honour and respect you.
And to cherish you.
And to cherish you.
For as long as we both shall live.
For as long as we both shall live.
What's funny about that? Well done.
High maintenance.
You've done it. Now it's your turn. We can't leave him in there on his own. You've got to jump the bridge as well. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I, Joanne, take you, Roland.
I, Joanne, take you, Roland.
To be my husband.
To be my husband.
My constant friend.
My constant friend.
My faithful partner.
My faithful partner.
And my love.
And my love.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
In the presence of God.
In the presence of God.
Our family and friends.
Our family and friends.
I promise to love you unconditionally.
I promise to love you unconditionally.
To support you in your goals.
To support you in your goals.
To honour and respect you.
To honour and respect you.
And to cherish you.
And to cherish you.
For as long as we both shall live.
For as long as we both shall live.
Well done to you both. Give them a big clap, please. Don't kiss yet. Now Hayden has the rings, so he's going to turn and face you with the rings, and we're all going to bless the rings now. So face the guests so they all see them in your hand. They're in a little book, by the way, but they're there. And the circle on the ring represents us. Okay, the rings themselves represent the two of you and your commitment and your vows, but let us have the circle on the ring, which represents us surrounding you and supporting you in your marriage. And therefore, we have to fill these circles with all our love and all our prayers and all our blessings for Joanne and for Roland. So, you ready? Hold them up there for them. Now, you can put your hands out like that towards the rings if you feel comfortable doing that, or just use your mind to put the blessings on the ring. So I'm going to gather them all up now. And if this works, Hayden, you're going to feel the energy. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. You're going to start buzzing or lighting up or something. Okay, so we bless the rings. And now, Roland, you first if you take the ring for Joanne. And place it on her finger. And say, Joanne, this ring is a symbol.
This ring is a symbol
Of the love between us.
of the love between us.
Please take it and wear it always.
Please take it and wear it always
To remind you
to remind you
of the commitment I've made.
of the commitment I've made.
Push it on.
A bit hot now.
Yeah.
So-
You shoot yourself. It's not coming off. Good.
Mhm.
Now the other ring. Roland, this ring is a symbol
Roland, this ring is a symbol
of the love between us.
of the love between us.
Please take it and wear it always
Please take it and wear it always
to remind you
to remind you
of the commitment I've made.
of the commitment I've made.
They got the sizes just right. They're very tight. They're not going to come off. Now, your ringed hand and your ringed hand need to go together. That's right. You can cover each other's palms like that. And the other two hands can sit on top. And now we'll do the hand fasting, which is this ancient Celtic ceremony of marriage that the Druids would have performed when they stood the two of you underneath the sacred oak tree. So the cord I'm using is an Aran Islands kris, which people used to make in their kitchens, simply as a belt for around their waist. You can see I have another one around my waist. But they are beautiful works of craft and art. And it's a good metaphor for your life now together, because you're going to, in a way, weave your life from your kitchen, from your life together at home, and it's going to have your own patterns and your own colours woven into it. It'll be your story. So this is a metaphor for that. So as I tie the knot now on your marriage, Roland and Joanne, you might like to think of yourselves as two trees growing in the forest, side by side, giving each other shelter and support. Onto the ground, your roots intertwining as you both reach for the sources of life. And above the ground, your branches intertwining as you both reach for the stars and the fulfillment of your dreams. Roland and Joanne, you're now husband and wife. Give each other a kiss. Now pull your hands out, I'll hold the knot, and give each other a hug and a kiss again, I think.
Oh,
yeah. Some music? Yeah. Now come and light the centre candle.
And with this ring, I give love to you. With this hand I hold, I give all that's true. And my love I'll give with my heart and soul. With this ring of gold.
So now I want to read a traditional Irish blessing for you both. This is very traditional, and it was often said in the Irish language, so I'll give you the first line, Oscailga, or in Irish. Gonairi an bóthar live. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palms of his hand. May God be with you and bless you. May you see your children's children. May you be poor in misfortune and rich in blessings. May you know nothing but happiness from this day forward. May the road rise to meet you, Gonairi an bóthar live. May the wind be always at your back. May the warm rays of the sun fall upon your home, and may the hand of a friend always be near. May green be the grass you walk on. May blue be the skies above you. May pure be the joys that surround you, and may true be the hearts that love you. And now we need to pause for a moment. This room is filled with love, and especially the love that you have for one another. But love is like one side of a coin. When you turn it over, you get thankfulness, because when you give something to one another, you're thankful for it. So you're each as much thankful, I'm sure, as you are loving. And I want you now to think of all the people you're thankful for in your life, all the people who've had a positive influence on you over the course of the years. And we pick out in particular, of course, your parents. So we have Anne here in the front row with the most amazing hat you could imagine. You could certainly wear that to the Galway races. Yeah. Good. And then we have Jeffrey and Karen here, Roland's parents, and we want to just honour you as parents for all the work that you've done in rearing your child and bringing this beautiful person into the world to meet one another. And thank you for all the work that you've done. And the rest of us, can we give the parents a big round of applause? And now a blessing for your marriage relationship. So if you join hands like you're going for a walk, and let these joined hands together represent your marriage relationship, and think of it as something living. If you've got something living in your life, then you have to mind it and look after it. It has to be fed and watered every day, and you have to do the same for your marriage relationship. It needs daily care and attention, and that'll keep it fresh and alive. And so I want to bless your marriage that that will always be the case. So hold your hands up, and I'll put a blessing of oil, which represents health, and I put the sign of the Celtic cross on the back of your hands. This sign originated as a pagan symbol in the Celtic world and then became a Christian symbol later on. And in every situation, it marked something sacred. Today, it marks something sacred. So I bless your marriage relationship now, that it may stay healthy, wholesome, life-giving, supportive, and nourishing for each of you at every stage of your life's journey together. And may it never lose the life-giving integrity that it has today. And then finally, a blessing of protection. Can you pull your chairs just a little bit forward so I can walk around you in a circle? Just very slightly, just enough to get me around. We're going to put a circle of protection around them now, which is from all of us, to say we're going to mind and protect the valuable thing, which is your marriage relationship. It's more valuable than anything material you'll ever own, because what material thing can promise you happiness and fulfillment? So we're going to surround you now with a circle of protection from all of us, using an ancient Celtic blessing which uses water from the holy well and sprinkles it around you in the direction that the sun goes around the earth every day. So I surround you now, Roland and Joanne, with a circle of protection that's made up of all our love and support for you in your marriage and in your future life together. And may this circle of protection allow your life to flourish and to be fruitful and to be like a plant that's growing on fertile soil and that produces great fruits for you in your life. And may nothing ever get past this circle we put around you now that would in any way threaten that love you have for each other. So now we're going to sign on the dotted line. So the registration form is over here on this table, and what we're suggesting is the two of you get up and come behind the table with your two witnesses, and we'll all sign. And there'll be some music while we do this. So let me over there first, and then I'll pull the table out slightly.
We all set out to find, to love, to meet someone special who is sent from above, to have and to hold together, growing old, to love for the rest of our life. It was all part of God's
as the ceremony comes to an end, let's acknowledge that while we were blessing Joanne and Roland throughout the ceremony, they were also blessing us. And we want to thank you for that. Thank you for blessing us, for having us here at this beautiful moment in your life, and for all the other blessings that have come from you to us, and we hope from us to you. And may that continue indefinitely throughout your life. So now I invite you, as the newly married couple, husband and wife, Roland and Joanne, take the first steps of the rest of your life together.
Everything that I'm talking to